Hello, I am roaringbug, and welcome to my Sims 4 speed build. Today's build is called Medieval Style House, and we are going medieval. So this house utilizes the get-together plaster and wood wallpaper, which is a Tudor style, and I feel like that was the closest I could get to making a medieval looking house. So this house was loosely based on a picture I saw on Pinterest, and I only had just the one picture of the front of the house. It was just like an illustration of a house. It wasn't even a real house. So I kind of just winged the rest of the house, and I had a lot of trouble fixing like the back of the house because I'm just imagining what it should look like. So as you can see here, I'm just doing the basic structure of the house. So the front of the house has a porch, and I noticed that in these types of style of houses, the first floor is smaller than the top floor, which is kind of weird because you would think that a first floor would have a larger base for stability, but in these style of builds, it's the top floor that actually is bigger. So as you can see here, I'm having some trouble putting down this porch, and I spent a lot of time putting this porch down because, as you can see, the top part, I forgot what it's called, but when you put down like that top fencing area of the porch, I created a design so that it would split 3 ways on the corner so that it would look fancier. And I don't know why I did that because you can't see it. And I just did it because I thought it'd be a nice detail to add to the house. You can see it here when I do like the cutaway to look at the build. And all of these like windows, they're all from Get Together. Get Together has interesting like items for building, but gameplay wise, you can make a club for anything. Like, you can make a club where you can just have random Sims come to your house and just paint pictures, and you can sell them for money. Or you can use it as like a dating app for your Sim if you want them to, find their special Sim. So this house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, and this house would be great if you were, I think it'd be good for like off-the-grid gameplay, just because of the medieval style. I didn't build it with off-the-grid gameplay in mind. I just built it purely for the medieval aesthetic. But I know that some people enjoy playing The Sims throughout different time periods, where they start, let's say, like the 1700s, and they work themselves up to the modern era by generations. I know there's a simmer on YouTube called Dr. Gluon, and he's been doing like a 100 baby challenge with that gameplay in mind, where he's going through the decades. Okay, so you can see now that chimney that I'm putting down, that's what gave me a lot of trouble, because it's like off to the side and poking awkwardly on the second floor, and I like it when chimneys line up with fireplaces. So I kind of had to think about how the chimney would line up with the fireplaces inside the build. So I added that tiny little roof piece to look like it's connecting with the rest of the house. And now I'm on the first floor and I'm just doing the furnishing. And I just put down the fireplaces. So the fireplace ends up in the kitchen, which I think is pretty realistic for like if you're going for like an older style home, because in an older homes they didn't have any central heating, so like they would depend on fireplaces to keep their homes warm. And the more well-to-do you were, the more fireplaces you had in your home. So, you know, it also, people use their fireplaces for actual cooking. Like they would have like a metal swinging arm where they could hook a pot or like skew like meats and they would cook it over a fire. But in The Sims, your Sims, you know, they will need appliances for gameplay. So, you know, your Sims, they're going to need a stove and they're going to need a fridge and a sink and they're going to need a bathroom. If not, the house isn't going to be functional for gameplay. So I put down that tablet just because if you do play on this house, it's easier to play The Sims if your Sim has a computer. You can get away with not having a computer if you can make your Sim go to the library, but you know, for ease of access, it's a lot easier if your Sim has a computer in the house. And as you can see here, I put down those extra lights because I realized the candlelight, those wall sconces in the bathroom wasn't bright enough. And I put a tea maker in the kitchen because I feel like it would fit for this style of home. Because in England, tea was like a really big fad after like colonialism and the West India Company. So tea is like there's a lot of tea culture in England. So the top floor is a loft bedroom and it's just has a bed and a dresser, and I guess if you wanted to, you can make like another bump out and make a bathroom on the third floor if you wanted to, but I think 2 bathrooms is good enough for this house. I didn't really think about a Pacific family to live in this house. I made this house purely for the medieval look. So these 2 rooms are going to be 2 more bedrooms. I put a double bed for the fireplace because safety-wise, I don't think you'd want a kid living, like having a bedroom with a fireplace. And this front room, I put a bed for a child and a toddler. And I put all the gameplay items for both a toddler and a child. And I'm just furnishing these 2 bedrooms. So this house, I imagine, because of the modern appliances, that it would just be Sims that enjoy the medieval aesthetic, but they would be living in the modern era. And I did the best I could to use lights that look like candlelight in the house. And if you want, you could probably swap out these modern bathroom fixtures for the ones you can get from the woodworking bench, because I know with the woodworking bench you can get a bathtub. but I didn't think it fit the look of the house because those look really rough. And even though this house looks like a period house, it doesn't have like a rough look to it. And I'm just putting down some art. I put down apron and the display for like coffee or tea. This is a tea house, sorry, so it's for tea. And in the second floor, I put a chess table because I figured they could probably use some skill building items. So I put down an easel, and later on in the build, I put down a guitar. So now I'm working on the exterior of the house. So first things first, I put down this railing. And the items that I use for the exterior are all debug items. And debug items don't have any cost in the game. They're just items that you see in the world, but they're not in the build and buy catalog. You can only access them if you open up this menu, and what you would do is you would go to like testing cheats, and testing cheats true, and you would just type show hidden objects, bb.show hidden objects. When I first started playing The Sims, Carl's guide on the internet was a great source to look for all the codes and stuff in order to access that. I put those lightning rods on the top of the house just because I didn't put too many, I just put a few because, you know, if you live in a wooden house, you wouldn't want lightning to strike your house, especially a wooden house that's flammable. I'm not really sure if people were aware about thunder striking your home during like medieval time period, but if you have seasons, like lightning will strike your house in The Sims, but your house isn't going to catch on fire. Though if it strikes you twice, like if it strikes your sim twice, it can kill your sim. Sometimes when thunder strikes in The Sim, it'll leave like a crystal or a rare mineral, which is pretty cool, like a rare element, and you could use it to sell off. So as you can see, I put down this stone fence in the front of the house just because I thought it would look more fancier than if I put down a wooden fence all around the house. Because I thought if I put a wooden fence all around the house, it would look too much like a farmhouse. And now I'm just putting down some more plants, just so that it looks a little bit more overgrown. And I'm closing up that fence. So I don't really have that much planning when I do landscaping. I feel like I only have two styles of landscaping, which is full or really minimal if it's a desert build. So when I make a house in The Sims, I always have to remind myself to remember to put down a mailbox and a trash can. So it's like those two items are things I try not to forget, but sometimes I do. So yes, that is the mailbox. And now I put down the trash can. So there's an indoor trash can, which is this barrel, and the outdoor trash can. And I put down this monkey bar because it's a skill building item if you're playing with children, with kids in The Sims. And I don't really do too much else in the backyard. And I put down this well, but the well is purely decorative. It's just a debug item. And if you're living in medieval times, you're probably not going to have central plumbing, so a well would be an essential item to have. And now we're moving into screenshots. So if you like my build, you can download it off the gallery at roaringbug. And please like, subscribe, or leave me a comment. Thank you. Bye.